What's up, guys? Your boy Machine here. Hopefully everybody's having an awesome weekend. Today I wanted to bring a subject to you guys about perspective and perception and how the two things differ in slight ways. Although most people think that perspective and perception are basically the same thing. I'm here now to tell you the differences between the two and how learning about this may make a huge difference in your business life, your financial life, your relationships, your friendships, all of those things. So, I do have here ChatGPT listening on, and he is going to help us out a little bit with this whole process. So, this is the first time I've seen this on a short podcast, and how about you introduce yourself and let the audience know a little bit about what we'll be talking about today.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here. I'm ChatGPT, and I'm here to join in on this awesome conversation about perspective versus perception. We're going to dive into how these two concepts are similar yet distinct and how understanding them can really impact different areas of your life. So let's get into it.
Let's talk about what perspective is, where it comes from, and how important it is for you to understand where other people are coming from when they're bringing up the topic of perspective, or when you're bringing up something that might cause you to have to understand their perspective in order to establish an outcome. So, perspective is your point of view of what happens around you and what happens to you based off of your entire life's experience. So, perception is more of a thing that's happening right now, how you're perceiving things that are happening to you right now. So if something happens to you, whether it be positive or negative, you're perceiving that. That's your perception. Now your perspective is kind of behind all of that, and that is what you're relying on to formulate an opinion on how your perception is responding to a certain situation. Let's go a little bit deeper into that. So, I have a perspective that a certain type of person is a bad person because when I grew up, every time I saw that type of person, I always saw them doing bad things, okay? So now, fast forward 30, 40 years into the future, I see a person that might be doing a certain thing that person used to do, even if they're not trying to accomplish the same goal at the end of the minute, they will spike my perception because of perception of that action is causing me to believe that or perceive that that person's probably going to do something wrong. ChatGPT, am I making any sense with that analogy?
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. I think that analogy really highlights how our past experiences shape our perspective, and then that perspective influences how we perceive situations in the present moment. It's a great way to show how interconnected they are.
Back to the whole perspective thing and why you probably want to learn it in order to do greater business or have more success in any type of relationship. So if you go around assuming that everybody has your perspective on life, you're doing yourself and you're doing the whole entire world a disservice because everybody views the world through their own lens, through their own point of view, and through their own perspective, which is going to shape their perception. So if you're trying to sell somebody something, or if you're trying to have a relationship with somebody and you're trying to have a conversation with them, understanding their perspective is imperative because then you can try to enhance their perception on the matter just because you know where they're coming from, basically. I see a lot of people in society currently rushing and doing things to try to help other people before they know what those people's true mindset, perspective, thoughts are. So, ChatGPT, I'll bring you in on this and explain to the audience how you think that perspective in business and romantic relationships could be great just because you're learning where that other person is coming from, if I'm explaining myself correctly, so you can have a deeper effect on their current perception.
Absolutely. You explain that perfectly. When you take the time to understand someone else's perspective, whether in business or in relationships, it allows you to connect with them on a deeper level. You can tailor your communication, your approach, and even your offerings in business to better align with their values and their needs. This way, you're not just guessing what they might want or need, you're actually aligning with their worldview. And that creates stronger or meaningful connections.
So, do you think that we're having a problem in the world right now with people not understanding or trying to understand or having an empathetic approach to perspective and other people that they might come across in all facets of life?
I think that's definitely a challenge we see sometimes. It's easy for people to get caught up in their own perspectives and forget that everyone else has their own unique experiences shaping how they see the world. So fostering empathy and really taking the time to understand where others are coming from can definitely help bridge a lot of gaps.
So, if you could give the viewers or audience 3 good tips to enhance their perspective, and especially their perspective on how they view other people's perspective, if that makes any sense, trying to close the gap in people just thinking that everybody sees the world through their lens, right? Everybody receives the world through their own lens. So I'm just trying to basically put together a couple of good tips for people to start actually understanding other people's perspectives, so this way we can actually have a positive effect on their perception.
Absolutely, I love that. So 3 tips to help enhance perspective would be: first, practice active listening. When you're in a conversation, really focus on what the other person is saying without immediately formulating a response. This helps you truly understand their point of view. Second, expose yourself to diverse perspectives, whether it's through reading books, watching documentaries, or engaging in conversations with people from different backgrounds. The more you expose yourself to different viewpoints, the more you can understand where others are coming from. And third, ask questions and be curious. Instead of assuming you know someone's motivations or thoughts, just ask them about it. That curiosity not only helps you understand them better, but it also shows that you genuinely care about their perspective.
So the 3 things that ChatGPT is suggesting makes perfect sense to me. He wants you to actively listen to people when they talk to you. So just don't let those words run in one ear and out the other. Actually listen to what the person is talking about and try to feel what they're talking about in order to be able to understand where they're coming from a little bit more. Secondly, do some deep diving on yourself and educate yourself on broad ranges of information and broad ranges of lifestyles and perspectives. So when you come across a different one, you can actually handle the conversation. And then to ask a bunch of questions and actually listen to what these people are saying. If you ask questions and listen to people, if you actually care about what they're saying and take the time to understand them, and then you do a bunch of research to understand how this world works and how different cultures are a little bit more diverse than other cultures, and just the differences between them, and understanding that all human beings are out here to do great things. However, if we don't allow ourselves to grow within and understand who we are, then we'll never be able to change the perception of others, because we don't even understand our own perspective or perception. So that's all I have to say. ChatGPT, do you have anything else to add to this conversation?
I think you summed that up beautifully. I'd just add that it's always a continuous journey. The more we practice empathy and curiosity, the more we grow and the better our connections become. So just keep learning and growing, and you'll make a big difference in your own life and in others' lives too.
So that's pretty awesome, because it's the personal growth. It's within you. In order for you to understand what other people are doing, you have to open your own heart. You have to have the openness to understand that people are different from you and that people have their own perspectives, and it doesn't make them any less great than you. But if you learn from all of these different perspectives, can you imagine how great of an individual you can become? That's all I have to say, your boy Machine. You guys have an awesome night. Thanks for listening. ChatGPT, say goodnight.
Goodbye, everyone. It's been awesome being part of this conversation. Remember to keep your hearts and minds open and keep growing and learning from each other. Have an amazing day or night, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate your time.